Honolulu. Master Chief Coate was in his office at Tripler, finishing up his paperwork for the day. Never far from his mind, he was also finishing up his last tour of duty in a 30-year career. It was time to conclude, he recognized, a journey that had started in Vietnam and culminated just 2 years before on Alabama, a submarine he loved even though at times it seemed determined to kill him. He'd had a longer, more exciting career than any recruiter had ever promised him. His mind went back for the first time in years to the grinning chief petty officer who had recruited him in an office above the Seymour, Indiana post office that reeked of Old Spice and pipe tobacco, a garish framed print of the Constitution adorning the wall. His phone rang, and the memory disappeared. "Master Chief Coate." "Master Chief, it's Petty Officer Wills. Can you come down to D3? We've got a sailor here who needs a medical DQ from his next patrol. Ship sent him here late last night." It was one of Coate's primary duties. As the resident submarine corpsman, he needed to sign off whenever a sub-sailor missed a deployment for medical reasons. The original reason, he supposed, was to ensure that no one was malingering to get out of sea duty, a determination that the submarine force, with its stubborn pride, wanted made by one of its own. In reality, that was not a large concern. Sailors were far more likely, in his experience, to hide a serious ailment to avoid letting down their shipmates than they were to fake an illness. And the ship's command was certainly not inclined to send sailors home for mild ailments and start day one of a patrol short-handed. When a ship voluntarily sent him one of their own, Coate knew it was usually dire. "I'll be right there." He took the elevator down to the 3rd floor. He was at Tripler Army Medical Center, the Army hospital in Honolulu known affectionately to generations of military men as Crippler. It was the largest military hospital in the entire Pacific sphere, treating all the horrible things that can happen to a soldier or sailor, or an aging veteran for that matter, responsible for an area that covered roughly 50% of the Earth's surface. The elevator doors slid open, and Coate saw the young petty officer waiting for him with a concerned look on his face. "Master Chief, thanks for coming quickly." "Sick submariner?" "Very sick," he said as they walked down the hall, their black Oxfords clicking on the tile. "And getting worse by the minute. Ship sent him here late last night. He had a fever and cramps. I'm waiting for his test results." "Any ideas?" He shrugged. "Flu? I don't know. He seemed stable last night. I guess that's why they didn't order any tests last night." There was a note of scorn in his voice. "What did his corpsman think? Did you talk to him yet?" "Didn't get a chance," said Wills. "His boat pulled out this morning." Coate furrowed his brow at that, bothered. It smacked of abandonment. They walked silently to a far corner of the ward surrounded by a curtain. The young petty officer threw it open, revealing to Coate a breathtaking view of Honolulu in the background, while a young man was dying in the fore. His face was gray, contrasted sharply by the blood that was dribbling from his mouth. "Here's his chart," said Wills, but before he could reach it, the sick sailor coughed so hard he almost convulsed. His back arched severely, and he groaned in pain. "Code!" said the Master Chief as he ran to his bedside. Wills jumped for the wall and pushed a button, setting in motion an emergency process that the Master Chief knew would be too late. He stepped up to the young sailor and put his hand on his forehead. It was hot to the touch. White spittle had dried around his lips. His eyes searched without seeing anything. His hospital gown was soaked through with sweat. Coate noticed a stuffed green sea bag leaning in the corner. "Son, it's okay," he said. "No." Lacking any better ideas, he took the young man's hand. In contrast to his forehead, it was clammy, cold, lifeless. The skin was rough, and his fingernails were dirty and cracked, the hand of a mechanic. He saw what he thought was a badly bruised fingernail, then realized to his surprise that it had been painted black with nail polish. "Where are you from, sailor?" He urgently wanted to keep the conversation going, feeling that any loss of consciousness would be the end. "Boise," he gasped. "Is that your hometown, or your boat?" The young man's eyes focused on him for a moment,